All right, all right. Today we're talking about how to build generational wealth. That's right. All right, it's 11 o'clock, January the 16th. Happy Martin Luther King Day. Let's go ahead and start talking about how to build generational wealth. There's 5 ways in which you can build generational wealth. So get a pen, paper. If you can, go to madillard.com/free, FREE, and you can download the checklist, the Build Generational Wealth checklist. Make sure you have it. It will come in handy for you. It will make your life easier. Oftentimes, the biggest obstacle to building generational wealth is that people do not have a plan. That's right. A lot of time people want to start investing without having a plan. It's kind of like, jumping on the highway and just driving, not knowing what exit you're going to get off on. That is a big mistake when it comes to investing. When it comes to investing, building generational wealth, you need to have a plan. And when you have that plan, you need to share it with your family and loved ones so that they can understand the journey that you are taking them on. So the first key thing about building generational wealth is make sure you have life insurance. That's right. I call it income insurance. Make sure you have at least a 20-year term life insurance at a minimum. If you agree, put a thumbs up in the chat. If you disagree, put a thumbs down. I'm a big proponent of term life insurance because of the affordability. I feel like it's better to keep your investments in one bucket and your life insurance in another bucket. A lot of people will talk about whole life insurance and some of the benefits where you can borrow money against the policy and etc. I'm not trying to borrow against my life insurance. I'm trying to build my assets in a separate account. Sometimes, if it's hard to explain to someone, that means that that product is not right for you. However, there are certain times in which a whole life policy may be appropriate. Just make sure that you understand what you are buying and the purpose of the instrument. Because when it comes to investing, it doesn't make sense, if you're going to travel from, Atlanta, Georgia to Florida. Would you get in a bicycle or would you drive or would you jump on the airplane? If the goal is to reach your destination as soon as possible, then you want to jump on the airplane. You don't want to use the bicycle. So make sure that if you're buying a whole life policy and you want to grow wealth in that policy, that that's your true intention. Therefore, 20-year term life insurance is the key. One big mistake that a lot of people make is that they say they have life insurance, but when you ask them, hey, let me see your policy or take a look at your policy, they say they don't know where it's at, or, oh, I have it through my work. You have it through your work. Okay. So the question I ask, what happens if for some reason you get laid off? Do you still have life insurance? Yes or no? What do you think? Most of the time you don't. What about the price? If you get laid off, will they still give you the group discount price? No, they're not going to give you that same group discount because you are no longer a part of the team anymore. Therefore, they're going to quote you a higher price if you want to maintain that insurance policy. And then the biggest factor is how much life insurance are you actually getting for your dollar? When you compare dollar for dollar, if you're spending, say, $10 a month for life insurance through your employer, how much are you getting back for that? Most of the time, it's one times your salary. So if you're making $50,000 a year and you're spending $10 a month, how does that compare to a term life insurance policy on the market? Just like you buy your car insurance, that's how you should be buying your life insurance. You need to own your policy. Don't let your employer own your policy. Take advantage of the free plan that they give, free contribution, etc. But when it comes to paying, check and make sure you're getting your money's worth. Because if you're spending $10 a month to get $50,000, when if you had a private term life insurance policy where you're spending $20 a month and you're getting $500,000 and you own the policy like you own your car insurance, that's a better deal for most people. For me, especially, I'm going to make sure I own the policy. So I'm free to change employers. If something happened, I have my policy. My family is protected. This is why you have to have a plan. When it comes to building generational wealth, you must have a plan. Number two, 401k. You need to make sure you're taking advantage of the employer match. If I was to give you $100 right now, and then you got a match on the $100 that I gave you, you end up with $200. Would you take that? I would take that. It's like someone giving you free money, right? Definitely. So it was, a lot of times your employer, what they will do is they'll say, look, John, Sally, Tim, Mary, you put in $100 into your own 401k account and we'll match that. So you put $100 in, we will match your $100. So guess what? Now you have $200 in your account. So that kind of symbolizes that it's a win-win situation. A lot of people say investing is risky, stocks are risky, they go up and they go down, but most of the time you're not losing your money when the market goes down. If you put $100 in, your employer put $100, that's $200. So if it goes down in value to $180, well, you still got your $100 plus some. So it's a win-win. Plus, you're going to take advantage of the growth. That money is going to grow and grow and grow and grow. If you don't know about the rule of 72, check out my YouTube video on that. It'll break down how compounding interest works in a simple to understand format. Make sure you're taking advantage of that free money. Number three, credit cards. Oh yeah, credit cards. They make credit cards easy when you're on college campus or running around. Hey, sign up for the credit card. Here's a free t-shirt. Sign up. Here's a free coffee mug. But what they're not telling you is that the interest, the amount of money that they're going to make on you is far greater than the cost of that t-shirt they gave you. They gave you a $5, $10 t-shirt, and they're about to make hundreds of dollars on you because of the way interest works. Have you ever thought and said, if I make the minimum payment on my credit card, how long it'll take for me to pay it off? Let that sink in. If you know the answer, type it in the chat box. But most of the time, it's going to take you maybe 14 years. Yeah, about 14 years for you to pay off your credit card if you only make the minimum payment. That's why credit cards, at first, they're easy to use. They're a great tool when you need money. However, is it worth it? After 14 years, you're going to end up paying double. So if you buy a pair of Jordans for $200, you're going to end up paying $400 for those Jordans. If you use your credit card to go on a vacation, you spend $1,000 having a good time for your birthday. Well, after making that minimum payment, you're going to end up spending $2,000 on that. That's a lot of money. That is a lot of money to be thrown out the door versus just pay as you go. Pay as you go. Number four. So if you're able to put money in your 401k, you have your life insurance, you're all set, you're ready to go, your family is protected, something happens to you, that your family has something to fall back on, you're making good progress in the plan. The next step, you paid off your credit cards because they're charging you 18%, 24% interest, which is a lot of money in the long term. What you want to do is you want to open up an individual retirement account. An individual retirement account, because the government is providing you with a tax benefit to invest in yourself. Think about it. The government is saying that if you are willing to set aside money today for your future, they're going to provide you with a tax discount. Make sure you look at your income bracket, make sure you qualify. If you're in the upper echelon, top 1% higher, then the situation would differ for you. But for your average middle class person whose income is below the threshold, this is another opportunity for you to grow your wealth. And nowadays, your children can even open up an individual retirement account at a young age. Imagine if you, when you turn 16, you started putting money into an individual retirement account at age 16, all the way up to age 50. You would be a millionaire, wouldn't you? Yes, yep, you would be a millionaire. And these are the type of tools and opportunities that are available nowadays based upon the tax code. Make sure you're taking advantage of every single opportunity to build generational wealth. Each year, the amount of money that you can put into your individual retirement account will change. So that's why you always have to check the IRS code as it fluctuates, but it keeps going up. That's the good thing. You have two different options. You have the individual retirement account that is, you pay the taxes today on your income. So if you put in $6,500 into an individual retirement account, you will be taxed on that money. It's called a Roth account. However, you never have to take money out the account, and the account and the money that compounds will continue to grow, and you will not be taxed on that money. The other type is the traditional IRA account, where you put $6,000 in the account. The government will subtract $6,000 from your income. So if you made $50,000, subtract 6,000, that's $44,000 in which they would tax you on. However, when you meet a certain age, they will require you to withdraw a certain percentage out of the account so that they can tax that money because it was never taxed. Make sure you consult your financial advisor, tax accountant, to make sure that you choose the most appropriate individual retirement account that meets your needs. So another way to make money. Number 5, this is like one of the most important parts. Number 5 is you need to open up a child savings account. Open up some type of account for your children so that they can learn how to invest early and often. The most important thing is that you start, because the way compounding interest works is that you put $100 in today, put another $50 in on their birthday. When they turn 5, put another $100 in for Christmas, have your uncle, your aunt put in another $50, $75, and eventually the money will start to accumulate and compound. When your children see money growing, they will start to understand how compounding interest continues to make money. In addition, it's teaching them good habits. The earlier you invest, the more money you will have. So this is a key fundamental in helping to build generational wealth for your loved ones. Make sure you go to madillard.com/free, FREE, to download the Build Generational Wealth Checklist. It has all this information available for you so that you can have a plan. Once again, step number 1, make sure you get the life insurance. You need to have something that's going to protect you or your spouse in the event something happens. You want your family, your children to be taken care of. Number 2, make sure you take advantage of the 401k match if you're eligible. I know a lot of times some employers now, what they're doing is they're just giving you an extra $200 per month, and they're not actually having a 401k account. Number 3, pay off your high interest credit cards. If you're making a minimum payment, it's going to take you, 14 years or so just to pay it off. And in the end, you're going to end up paying double. So it's better to budget, sacrifice today for a brighter future tomorrow. Individual retirement account, you have 2 options. You have the traditional account and you have the Roth account. So choose one and make the best investment for you. That's going to make sense when it's time for you to retire. Because when it's time for you to retire, you want to make sure that you can sit back comfortably, enjoy your grandchildren, enjoy life, travel, see the world without having to work until age, 75, 85, if you don't want to. However, if you want to continue to stay busy, that's your prerogative, but it's not a must. And then number 5, Open up a child savings account for your loved ones. You want to make sure that your kids are learning how to invest early and often so that it becomes a habit, just like having a cell phone. It's normal to have a cell phone. It's normal to have, a car. It's normal to have shoes. You just want to make it something that's part of them and that's a habit. And if you don't have life insurance, make sure you get it because you have insurance on your phone, you have insurance on your car. Make sure you have insurance on your life. Your family will thank you for that. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you like and share. It's been a pleasure speaking with you today. My name is Michael Dillard, the personal finance coach. Have a nice day.